How you doing today? This is Olori Lolade Siyonbola, founder of NOIR Labs, NOIR Press, NOIR Fest, the NOIR Labs ecosystem, where we inspire and operationalize Black liberation worldwide. Just gotta breathe with me. It's been a full day, and it's the end of my day, and this is on my spirit to talk about. So I'm just gonna share what comes up. We just finished phase one of the Brooklyn Arts Council's Brooklyn Innovation Portal. There were many learnings from that project, so many more than I can count. But some of the things that I really want to talk about, we worked with a Nigerian software development team. And we also, I'm Nigerian, in case you didn't know that. It's not that I'm, born in Lagos, raised in Missouri, formed in Brooklyn, and homesick my whole life from the time I left, right? Left Nigeria at age 5, went back briefly at 7, and then couldn't go, came to the States and couldn't go back to Nigeria for like 21 years. And so I was very homesick and very much longing for home pretty much that entire time. And so for me, the opportunity to work with Nigerian talent is part and parcel of my desire to stay connected to home. And, it is a form of remittance. Like, I love how Desiree Gordon quoted it in our planning and evaluation process. She talked about hiring Nigerian and Caribbean, development talent as a form of remittance. Like a cultural remittance, almost like a reparation type of remittance. And so it was very, very inspiring, and it just, just very educational to go through this process, right? So I just want to tell you a little bit about the project, what we did, and then I want to tell you about like what I've learned about working with Nigerian talent. So the Brooklyn Arts Council funds artists and helps to develop artists in Brooklyn, right? And so they fund different projects, different exhibits. They have a teaching artist program. So they are one of the fundamental, if not the fundamental institution in Brooklyn that that supports artists. They gave Spike Lee his first grant. Okay, so let's trace that back. Okay, Spike Lee got his first grant from the Brooklyn Arts Council. He goes on to make Malcolm X, Do the Right Thing, all the most incredible stuff, right? And look at how he has impacted culture. Look at the ripple effects. Look at the reverberations from that one grant, right? So that is the kind of impact that an arts institution can have on the world, because they can produce hundreds and thousands of Spike Lees if cultivated correctly, and if the institutions are resourced correctly, and if they cultivate their artists well, the kind of impact that arts councils can have is outsized. It's much bigger than what anybody else can have. And so I saw this as a tremendous opportunity. Shout out to Desiree Gordon for bringing us onto the project. I saw this as a tremendous opportunity to maximize impact, right? To help them in the process of building this platform to maximize their impact, and to help the artists that they work with to maximize their impact, right? Because y'all know the reason I get up in the rising is because I know that we're all going to be free. It's inevitable. We got to be free. So what do we got to do today to bring that liberation closer? And so seeing an opportunity like this where I can help an arts council to explode their impact, and where I can help artists to explode their impact, it was music to my ears, right? And so we went through a number of phases with the council. So I have a background in technology. So those who might see this pretty face, it may not be your assumption that I have a computer science degree, or that I used to code and build websites and databases. I've done all the stuff, right? I was a network engineer. I've worked just about every role in technology. I've done like tech support type of stuff. And then I have managed development teams who, um, as they build apps, software development, software projects, platforms, all the things, right? And so what excites me about technology, even though like I left my major not wanting to be a coder, but technology is something that I think has always been ingrained in me just as a person. I think that I've always been interested in how things work, how things connect, how you break things apart and put them back together, And so, I'm sure my mom got me some little, we had Legos and things like that as a kid. I'm sure I had a lot of different things that sort of helped stimulate that um, that part of me, right? But so by the time I got to college, that was not really what my first choice was, but I was already good with computers, and it seemed like the most like appropriate major. Um, so anyway, studied computer science, did not work in the industry really until maybe a year and a half out of college, when I got my first network engineering job, right? I'm working on the ums. I'm working on the ums. But got my first network engineering job working downtown Manhattan, Chelsea. Chelsea was the name of the company, Chelsea Technology, something like that. And we worked with hedge funds in the city and in Connecticut, Jersey, all of that. So I just travel around and service all these, systems and servers and routers. It was a lot of fun, but it took its toll because it was a lot of work, right? And the kind of people I was working with, I didn't enjoy because their ideology, their cultural sort of identities did not mesh well with mine, right? As a liberator here with these, hedge fund managers, it was not a look. So I couldn't really sustain that. But I worked a lot of different, project management jobs over the years and just have been in so many different corners of like, organizations, right? Like, I have played so many roles in organizations. And so I think it's interesting to look back now as I'm building my own organization to see like how much I know about different roles and how those roles can be leveraged for impact. So anyway, all of that to say, this um, this platform that we have built was built by a combination of teams. All right, so I'm going to shout out all the teams that worked on it and just help you understand what it takes to build something like this and how there is even somewhat like a heuristics or a language for building technology. And that's not something that we're often taught, right? We're not often taught like, there's a language, there's a style, there's a poetry to building technology, right? So, like I told you, I told you why I was interested in this project. How I approach everything that I do is about Black liberation from within. And any opportunity that I see that will enable me to, drive that kind of, impact forward, I will explore it. I will be interested, right? And so, for this, of course, this was my homie telling me about it, and this is someone who I love, love, love to life, and it's Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn. It's my home. It's my planet. It's where I come from. Sorry. So the opportunity to do something like this that could benefit artists in Brooklyn, because Brooklyn artists are like my North Star. Brooklyn artists are the people who inspired me to be who I am. When I say formed in Brooklyn, it's because of Brooklyn artists. And so I have such a deep affection and just a passion for helping to liberate Brooklyn artists, helping them to have successful careers, let the money go to the good people, not just the flashy people. Um, and so any opportunity to build something that would empower Brooklyn artists, my friends, the people I look up to, I wanted to be part of that. And so for them, we started off just as technical consultants, just basically because they didn't have technology staff within their organization at the Brooklyn Arts Council. So I basically became their de facto technology staff for this project specifically, not for the whole organization. And so in that role, I was meant to help them find a team that would do their user experience research. We hate that word user because it's only tech companies and drug dealers that call their customers users. So let's call them customers. Customer experience research human experience research is what we like to call it at NOIR Labs. So we knew that they needed to do some research to understand what was the best way to approach this project and what should they build, right? So that was its own research process. So as a technical consultant, as somebody who had built technology before, who had studied technology, I was meant to help them think, technological thinking. I was meant to help them think about the best way to approach the development of this platform, the Brooklyn Innovation Portal, which I haven't said yet in this video. The purpose of the Brooklyn Innovation Portal is to help artists explode their impact. It's to help artists thrive. It's to help artists make money. It's to help artists find each other and find resources and opportunities that will help us thrive in our creative careers, right? And this is a model that could be replicated for any city. So in helping them to think about how to approach the Brooklyn Innovation Portal and knowing that they needed to do this research, I wanted to do the research myself. Listen, here I am, master's at Yale, African Studies Sociology, started the PhD at Cambridge. I love research. I'm obsessed with research. I want to know all the things. So the opportunity to do the needs assessment is what we called it. The opportunity to do that research was so exciting for me. And I thought about all the different ways that we could engage the Brooklyn community to capture more data and more information about what people wanted from a platform like this. What did they desire from a platform that would connect artists to resources and opportunities and to each other? What were the youth looking for? The youth who want to be rappers, the youth who want to be technologists, the youth who want to be writers, who want to be dancers, who want to be poets for a living. What are they looking for in a platform like this? What are the businesses, the institutions that hire artists, that need visual design all the time, that need, sonic art, that need voiceovers and performers and actors? What are they looking for from a platform like this? Uncle John is in my head because he's always like, he don't like it when I say, or he's trying to make me like a classy woman. So I'm trying to work on it. So yeah, so a platform that could ultimately explode artist impact and artist benefit, artist thriving, artist economic, standing. And so of course this is a passion that's close to my heart. That is all about, it's all in my heart. And the research approach was a reflection of that. The research approach was really to connect, was really to bring out the community, to find out what people wanted, what they needed, what they were looking for from the council, because the platform really should be an extension of the council, not just another platform. So there were a lot of things to explore here to understand what the community needed. And we had the resources to get several hundred. I would still like to get more data, if I'm perfectly honest. I think the council should get more data. I'd love to see the council speak to 10,000 artists in Brooklyn to understand what your dreams are for your creative practice in Brooklyn. I'll actually link the survey, the first survey that we did, because hey, it's data. If you want to fill out the survey, it is very welcome. Very welcome for you to contribute your voice to the platform, because this is just phase one. What we have just built is just phase one. There has always been an intention to expand it. And so I hope that it does get expanded. And I hope that that process can take into consideration the desires and needs of artists in Brooklyn, more and more artists. So as more data is gathered, that information should influence what is built. And so what we have built now is the most basic thing that we believe the artists in Brooklyn that we spoke to and the communities that they represent, what we believe y'all wanted, to be perfectly honest. Y'all told us that you wanted to be able to find other artists. You told us that you wanted to be able to find opportunities more easily. You told us about the platforms that you were using to find artist opportunities, creative opportunities, paid opportunities, and other resources for artists. And we looked at a number of these platforms and assessed based on that, based on the focus group that we did, based on canvassing, conversations with other organizations locally. We defined what we thought was the minimal viable product, the MVP. You might hear that term used in tech, MVP. It's the thing that you could build that will test out your assumption. because your assumption is that there are enough artists in Brooklyn who want to connect with each other that will utilize a platform to find each other and to find opportunities. And so we did that process, and the data that we captured from that process went into reports and went into the plan and went into the recommendations for what the council should build going forward. All right, so I've gone way too long into that. We've been doing 15 minutes. I want to wrap this up. So I said I was going to talk about Nigerian talent. So there's a huge opportunity to engage Nigerian talent. It's like a $10 trillion opportunity. I'm just telling you right now, because the margins that are possible when you work with Nigerian talent are not comparable, especially for Black-owned and Black-led organizations. One, you're getting literally the best price on the planet because you're getting the best brains on the planet. I'm biased, and I believe it to be true. You're getting some of the best brains on the planet, and you're getting some of the hardest working, grittiest mother effers on the planet, because they will find a way to get it done. If you hire the right people, they will find a way to get it done. So there's a process to the hiring, what I call filtering in. But when you filter in well, you will have the cream of the crop. You will have some great talent. I have been very blessed to have a lot of very talented people working with NOIR Labs. I don't see a lot because we've been quiet. We've been doing a lot of things behind the scenes. There's a lot of talented people that have been part of NOIR Labs over the last 5 years. I want to cry. It's my baby. My baby's growing up. She's 5. Oh my God. NOIR Labs is 5, y'all. So proud of us. I'm so proud of us. So much amazing talent on my team. I can't wait for y'all to meet everybody. Just so much amazing talent. I'm super, super proud of the people that I work with and the talent that I get to work with. And 99% of them are on ground in Nigeria and making it work bit by bit, day by day. As things are happening, as you see protests going on, y'all, some of y'all might be seeing what's going on with the country and the protests and the bullshit. My team's showing up to work a day on it, like, let's do this. Let's build this new world. They showing up. So I am so grateful. So shout out to Afo, shout out to Uruak, shout out to Sankara, Patrick, shout out to Kirian, shout out to Hafsa, shout out to Mayowa, shout out to Uchenna, shout out to Yetunde, who has recently joined our team as well. Shout out to Mana. There's a few other people here and there, but this is the main team. So you look at the kind of team that I've been able to build. I have a product team. I have 2 solid product managers, one person who really could be a product manager, but that's not his job. I have a scrum master. I got an education lead. I got editor, senior editor. The senior editor is half of the education lead role. I got a lot of people doing a lot of dope things, and we're operationalizing it now. So our focus now is to increase our content production. So hi, you see my face. You're gonna see my face everywhere. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're gonna be seeing a lot of me, baby. Yeah, and our community as well. Check out Sacred Medicine if you're on Instagram. Go to NOIR Press Instagram. Check out Sacred Medicine. Those videos are gonna come down very soon, and they were worth more than gold. They were beyond gold. So highly recommend you go to NOIR Press Instagram and check out those videos. But to come back to what we're doing, the team that I've engaged, that I'm building, that I'm cultivating, that Sankara is helping me cultivate. This is a team that's ready to work, is ready to do big things in the world. And our number one priority is to get our content out there, chop it up, buy into the real thing, and distribute our content, because we have tons of it. We could not stop publishing for 20 years if we start tomorrow with all the 30-second, 1-minute clips we could be sharing with you all. So the team is poised to produce a lot of content. So we need your support to make that happen. You need strategic storytelling. You could sponsor any of these videos. We're going to go back and cut up the Black Geniuses. If I were you, I would go check out those Black Geniuses, because there's a lot of gems for free. Some of that's going to get packed up in the hood. It's going to get packed up into Black Genius University. So go check it out now while it's free. I gotta eat my watermelon, y'all. I'm sorry. Give me a second. I gotta wrap this up. Okay. So 3 things about working with Nigerian talent: assessment, cultivation, and remuneration, incentivization. Assessment, cultivation, remuneration. There's so many other things to talk about, but assessment. Everybody can look it on paper. You got ChatGPT now. Niggas can look it on paper. All they gotta do is throw in a prompt. Can they uphold that? Does their actual work demonstrate that level of value and of character? So you have to be able to ask the right questions when you bring people into your community, into your organization. You got to be able to ask the right questions to understand who these people are, what they are motivated by, what they care about, and how they're going to show up for you in your company. Okay? So there's a filtering in process. So what we use for our filtering in process is what we call a human guide. That's the first thing. If you ever want to work for us, that's the first thing you got to do is fill out a human guide. When you get a fridge or a phone or some other device, you get a guide, a user guide that tells you how to use it. When you get a human in front of you, do we come with a guide? No, we don't. But if we did, it would be a little bit easier for us to have harmony in our relationships. So in order to maintain harmony, cultivate harmony within our organization as much as possible, and it has worked magically. In order to cultivate that harmony, we use human guides, and they ask right questions to help us understand each other, because everyone gets to see each other's human guide. So I'm just saying that to say, if you're trying to bring in talent from overseas, especially from a different culture like Nigeria, even if you are from Nigeria, the cultural differences are vast, right? Because I came here at age 7, and there's a major cultural gap between me and them, but we all love each other. We're all, in this together. We're all here for saving our country and building a better Nigeria and a better world, right? So, and I know that because I filtered them in. I asked them the right questions. And that level of commitment to our vision continues to be assessed as long as they're part of the company. And so you can tell based on how people perform, how they show up, to tell how committed they are to your cause, to your vision. And you really want people to work with you who are passionate about what you're doing. If you're passionate about what you're doing, you want your team to be passionate as much as possible. So you really want to be on the lookout for people who care about what you're doing, who are connected to it, and who have the skill sets to uphold the goals that you desire to materialize. So that's the other part of assessment, is skills assessment. So this is something that we're still developing, but we've done the human guide and we've done the tool assessment to understand how well they do with certain tools. The skills assessment part really comes about right now in the probationary period, right? So we don't hire anybody full time. We hire them probationary for a certain period of time. And in that time, we get to assess, and they get to assess. Do we like you? Do you like us? Does it work? Does it make sense? Is the output outputting? When you have something like that too, it helps you to filter out people who are not able to uphold. And of course, you got to look at their stuff, right? So if someone's applying to you, you're not just looking at a resume. Depending on what the role is, you are looking for outputs. You're looking for successes. You're looking for tangible benefits to their, for their previous projects. And so you want people who can demonstrate those things, who can articulate their experiences with those types of projects, and whatever evidence you can possibly see, whatever tangible evidence you can see is helpful. And that's, especially where we're talking about like more mid to junior to mid roles, as opposed to like senior. So a lot of people that I've hired have been mid to junior, but I have a couple senior people in there now that are kicking ass. So yeah, all that to say, no matter how they come in, you got to cultivate them. You got to teach them your culture for your organization. You have to know what I could keep going about this for days. If you're building an organization, you're building a business, you want it to last, you want to pass it on to your kids, you got to build the infrastructure. You got to build a solid foundation. And these human guides and these assessments that I'm talking about are a big part of that. You got to be able to sink the roots of what you're building into the ground. And that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years. And I know a lot of things are taking a lot of time, but at this point, We're just gonna publish. We're just gonna publish. Just gonna see how it's all gonna just flourish. You're just gonna see. So put some money in the bank. If you want storytelling, you want software development built by a team in Nigeria, I cannot recommend it enough. I cannot recommend this enough. I can't recommend my storytelling skills enough. I'm about to tell you about New World Haven, which is beyond. I get to tell a story of how the New World was built through the eyes of Black teenagers in New Haven. And this story is going to be connected to Portal X's universe and all the other stories that we're telling on the Portal X platform. But yeah, like it's a big, it's about to pop off. It's about to pop off. Okay, so pay attention. Okay, just be paying attention. So get in while you can. So we have some 2K advertising opportunities with New World Haven. I want to talk about those. And did I finish talking about Nigerians? Assessment, cultivation, and remuneration. So I'm going to come back and talk about this topic. I will say more about cultivation, but that human guide, journey is a big part of the cultivation, because now you know them, then you know how to cultivate them. You know where they're going, what they want to achieve, who they want to become, and then you know the ways to motivate them on that path. And then because now you've assessed that this person matches what you desire, what you need, and where your organization is going. So now you're looking at how you can cultivate and design their role in such a way that it helps both sides, beautifully. So that's cultivation. And then there's so much more to cultivation, but we'll come back to it. Remuneration has to do with paying them a great wage, paying them something that they can't necessarily make in Nigeria, and paying them something that you can afford, and that, so there's that gap. So when I say this $10 trillion opportunity, we're talking about, I don't know if the Naira is, 1,500 to $1 right now. I haven't checked in a while because that country's just gone crazy and it's been overdue for a long time. Let me look up the Naira to dollar right now. Oh, let's do that actually. Naira. Yeah, let's check out my people's site. 1,500, 1,570 according to the site. So I don't know how else to explain the level of discount that you get, but I'm going to tell you that if you were to go and hire talent yourself, if you were to go and find talent on ground in Nigeria to do software development, to do storytelling, whatever it is, you would probably end up paying them anywhere between 4 to 20% of what you would pay in the States for that same service, for that same talent, as if you were to go find them yourself and there was no middleman. But now you put on top of that the searching time, you put on top of that the assessment time, you put on top of that the cultivation time, you're gonna pay some money. You're gonna increase. So if it was 4% you were gonna pay, now you're definitely paying 30% of what you would have paid in the US. But is it still not a 70% savings? So depending on what you need done, we have people. And I know a lot of people have talked to me about wanting to expand their teams, wanting to build their teams. And I know a lot of us are focused on storytelling. A lot of us are focused on how to be on social media and whatever other platforms in order to tell our stories, be visible, and magnetize our communities. And we know how to help you do that. We're doing it now. You're going to see how we do it with our content. There's so many other models. So as you see what we do with our content, you can also go to noirpress.org, see the articles we've written. There's 2 that I'd like to uplift as strategic storytelling samples. One is a brief history of artificial intelligence in Africa that was published in 2021. The other is a set from 2023 on the Detangled team, Nia Weeks and Damian Smith. Look those up on NOIR Press and tell us what you think. That's some really heavy strategic storytelling. The other example of strategic storytelling is New World Haven. New World Haven. New World Haven is a story that I get to tell right now, that we're in the thick of telling right now. It is basically going to be an Afrofuturistic anime that tells the story of how New Haven became the Silicon Valley for the arts, a thriving hub of innovation, culture, beauty, a place where magic is made constantly. We believe that New Haven is headed to become a place like that. And we also believe that that is going to be driven by Black talent, which most cultural transitions and shifts are driven by Black talent, Black labor. So it's quite likely. And so a lot of times when that happens, the story is not told from our perspective, it's told from the hunter's perspective. So this time I want to tell that story from our perspective and really from the perspective of our kids. So my daughter's on the project. She's already helping out bit by bit. And there's a lot more that she's going to do and that I want other teenagers to do. So we are looking for teenagers who are interested in, I know I just loaded everything in this video. We're looking for teenagers who are interested in illustration, in storytelling, in narrative work, in comics, because we are building a comic strip, who are interested in animation, illustration skills, writing. Just bring us your teenagers, send us their information. You can send us to NWHV, New World Haven, NWHV at noirlabs.org. NWHV at noirlabs.org. You can send just a paragraph. Have the kids send a paragraph. This is what they're interested in. This is how they love to help with the project. We'd love to help them get credit for school as well as stipends. So we believe that we'll be able to give stipends to a number of kids as well who work on the project. And yeah, but it's going to be strategic storytelling out there. Hey, want to say that. Very, very strategic storytelling. We will have the narrative installments up on screens in different parts of the city. And that will be a way for also for businesses to get their name out. So if you want to advertise on those screens, let us know. NWHV at noirlabs.org. There's opportunities to advertise starting at Spirit saying 150. So I'm hearing 150. I'm hearing 500. I don't know. We're going to put the numbers out. But right now we're focused on the 2K level, the people who want to be in the story. That offer is not going to last long. It's probably like a week. So if you want your business or your brand to be written into the story of New World Haven, this Afrofuturistic anime about how Black youth save the world through their magical talents, you can get in on the ground floor. You can email nwhv at noirlabs.org and just say you're interested in advertising in the story, being part of the story, being a partner to the narrative, and we can figure out if we can work you in. We have to know what your business is. We have to know what you do and what story you want to tell, and figure out how much we can work you in. But I just want to tell you, like the downloads, as I'm writing the story, they're bananas. But did you know? Okay, Spirit said no, and I'm not going to tell you about that anymore. All right, we got to wrap this up. This has been amazing. Thank you for your time. Thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate those of you who are watching. I can't see your names, but I see the eyeballs, on the StreamYard, so it tells me some of y'all out there. So thank you for joining me. It's been great to be able to share this, and I welcome your questions. I would love to know if you have any questions. I'm sure you have some. And if you're interested in technology, work in technology, I'd love to talk to you more about what you think about building Black technology. But this is a series that I've been on, and I'm going to continue for some time. There are about 2 or 3 episodes on our YouTube, on our Northpress YouTube. There might be one other on Facebook. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's a conversation that we want to have. Some of the previous ones are in Yoruba. The second one is subtitled. So, my team got it subtitled. So, yeah, let us know any questions, thoughts you have. We'd love to hear from you. And I'll be back very soon. But definitely check out our Instagram. All right. Much love to you and yours, and we will talk soon. Join the newsletter, norpress.org/join. You got to get on that newsletter. It's the best thing. Smoking. Peace.